All right. Okay, thanks and welcome to my sessions. And my name is Selva. So my topic today will be I will be talking about self-discovery, but then mostly focusing on the MBTI profiling. All right. So what we're gonna do is that how does this profiling works, and what are the things that you need to concentrate. So a lot of profiling have been done, a lot of self-discovery been done, but then the way of interpreting or the way of we how to say that we decipher the reports, that is the most important part. And a lot of things are being done, but then is been under the table. All right, so in these particular sessions, so what I'm going to cover, we discover about ourselves using a simple profiling tools, and that will be MBTI. And then we see that how we can leverage and to improve ourselves, as well as to identify our strengths, and also that overcome our weaknesses, and how do we work in a team, as well as how do we leverage the team itself, right? So welcome again to my sessions on self-discovery. Now, a bit of background. I'm a HR consultant, a trainer, as well as a coach. I'm certified coach, certified trainer, as well as the lead internal auditor, and also the certified assessor, I mean the talent profiling, and work along with different industry, from marketing until the talent development, and also the graduate employability area, right? And to start with, we're gonna start with a quick survey. I'm gonna launch, Emily, can you launch the quick survey for me?
Okay, sure.
Thank you. All right, I want you to guys to quickly answer this particular survey. Let's see that how it comes in. Oh, there's a four. One is not taken. Okay, good. Some more. Two more to go. All right. Okay. Thanks, Emily.
Okay.
I think we can launch the result. So out of five say yes, they have taken some form of survey. All right, some form of survey in I mean profiling task in their life. It's good. It can be from the disc. It can be from MBTI. It can be from Holland, John Holland profiling. It can be Rajak model. So there's quite number of profiling available. All right. Now, what we're gonna cover. So the learning objective for this particular module is to get the insight information about how personality test is measured, and how is related work related personality. So most of the time, we can see that profiling is done at the workplace. For your personal discovery, it will be good that you have some basic of the profiling, and this profiling also will identify the your personal strength, as well as your personal weaknesses. Now the weaknesses mean that not to put down anyone, it's just that how we acknowledge our weaknesses, and we drive the plan to overcome our weaknesses. And here, this particular module also will discuss about team interaction. How do you work in a team? So a lot of time that we see that we have difficult to communicate, even with the team, or across the team, or across the companies, or even sometimes that you have that difficulty to communicate with your spouse, your friends, and so on. All right. So here we will identify, we will know why people behave in a different ways, and how we can work together to have a better communications. All right. So these are the things that I'm gonna cover. And a table of contents, we talk about preference profile. That's the MBTI. We talk about the strength and the weakness. How do you identify your strength, and how do you identify the weaknesses in with the profile itself? And also that we can see the team role and also the team dynamics. How does you play a role in a team, and how the team dynamic can be to work together. So these are the table contents that I'm going to share. Now, moving a little bit background and on the profiling. All right, what science tells us why people do profile is first to understand yourself. This is like a very basic thing that, if you want to move from point A to point B, you need to understand where is the point A and where is the point B. So from what you have at the point A, and what are the resources that you have, what are the advantage that you have, what are the strengths that you have, and to move to the point B. So at least you find your gaps, and then you move on to the next level. Now, looking into the second point, what science tells us is about understanding the others, how exactly that others work, how to communicate better, why some people are behave in a different way, and why some are very easy to communicate and some are very difficult to communicate, right? Now, the third point that science tells us about the profiling is that speak his or her language. Now, when you go into a certain countries or certain race group, if you are able to speak their language, you will feel that more welcome into their group, right? So this is not focusing on the language, but that is more looking into the way that how we interact, the way that how we feel connected with the other team members, right? So the connection, the communications that come in once you know the particular person, or once you know yourself, how do you behave in the public? Okay, so that is the science, what the science tells us about the profiling. Now, a bit of a history on the MBTI profiling. It's all started with Carl Jones. And the main idea of he have put it in the theory for the psychological type. So he want to identify the psychological type, that how people work in a different area or different segment of the industry. And then further, Catherine as well as Isabel Myers, they took it up. These are the mother and the daughter companies. So what they do, that they take it up to further. Now, the reason is Isabel is taken up because she want to profile her future husband. So that's where it's all started. And then down the road, they wanted to make it available so that everyone can take up and everyone able to understand the profiling tool. Now, in this particular session, that I'm not going to go very deep, but I'm going to touch the surface, but how you can have a simple applications, simple way to apply this MBTI profiling, all right? Now, Professor Frank Parson, he also said that by knowing yourself, your desire, strength, as well as a challenge in relations to the demand and context of working life, you'll be able to make a reflect choice of career. So profiling is not only focusing on the personality itself, but this personality also can be used in terms of doing the career selection. How do you blend in a career? How do you work in a team? What will be your role in a team? So this is more reflect on the career part. And this profiling also easy to understand, especially for the fresh graduate or potential graduating students. Any work life, like in even the SPM students, they can understand easily on the when they get the report of their profiling. All right. Now, our famous martial artist as well as the actor, he said that to become different from what we are, we must have some awareness of what we are. All right. So every time that you really can see, for example, when you go to the interview, people ask you that briefly describe about yourself. All right. So you need to have some form of understanding about who you are actually, all right? But then where do you get the simple basic understanding that who you are, all right? So you've been in this world almost about 25, 30 years, 40 years, but then where do you start to understand about yourself? So when you start to draw single things, you know, or maybe that try to define yourself in a one word or two words, sometimes you have a difficulties that to go for it. But this profiling will help you in terms of that who you are and where you are. Okay, where you want to go all about. Okay, so profiling also will tell you a bit of awareness, but then it's not 100% confirmed. I mean, 100% that you can take it as a God of word. Okay, word of God. Huh? So this is not carved in the stone. Profile always change. Profiling always change. Your personal profile always change. So 30% the profile will be remain as it is because it's actual behavioral things that inside you. That people always say that this comes with the DNA. But 70% of your profile will change due to the environment. If you are a talkative person, all right. So if I put you work behind the scene, means that for example, that if I put you in a storeroom to work as a store supervisor and so on, you will be only meeting the boxes and then very less human interaction. Slowly from the talkative, you will become silent mode. Okay, or we can say that from the extrovert you convert into a become an introvert. All right, so it totally depends on the environment. So 30% is your DNA and 70% your environment. So nothing is permanent in the profiling. So you can change this profile depending on the environment that you work. Okay, so again, with Bruce Lee, what Bruce Lee said, to become different from what you are, we must have some awareness of what we are. So understand about yourself, understand the foundation that you have, understand the resources, understand your strength that you have, and then you build. If you don't have any new strength that you're looking for it, and then you build from that. Right now, the big question is that why this profiling? Why the profiling is becoming more, so important? Okay, and why current industry are looking into different profile to assist the recruiting managers or the hiring managers or your own head of the department to select the so-called like the perfect candidate. Even though we all know that there is no perfect candidate, but then you can see the potentiality, right? So let me tell you the 6 benefit of the profile. Okay, so this is what I call as a 6 why that you need to focus on the profiling tools. All right. First, to set and achieve goals. So you have a clear plan that what you want to achieve at the end of the day, or you can have a long-term plan, short-term plan, or just what you want to achieve at the end of the session and so on. All right. Second is a build strong relationship. As we've been talking, the science tells us also that in terms of communications and so on. All right. So this is to build a stronger relationship. Understand your spouse. Understand your kids. Understand your friends. So these are the where they want to understand the way that they behave. This will build the strong relationship. A third is a focus on a career plan. All right. So profiling also that gives you about the plan to career. I mean, you try to define it in which area of the industry that you want to work. For example, like a electronic industry, there's a huge area. If you are a very talkative person and like to meet people, all right, you go into sales engineering. Okay, sales engineer, then you get it. Okay, you can interact. If you are very detail oriented, you can go into quality engineers. All right, so there is a lot of spectrum, a lot of areas that you can focus. Your favorite industry, but then you go into a specific area that you can really leverage on your personality. Fourth, to make a better decision. Now, by the way of the way that you collect information, the way that you communicate, the way that how you analyze, it help you, the profiling, your personal profiling will help you in terms of how do you collect information, how do you decide the information, how do you apply it. So this is help you in make a better decision. Number five is communicate more effectively. So when you understand a person, for example, like if he or she is an introvert, give them time for them to respond. All right. Extrovert, yes, they will never filter their words. They straight away, whenever you ask a question, they straight away give you the answers. All right. And last but not least is manage and prevent stress. Once you understand your weaknesses, if people give you, for example, like you are extrovert, but people give you back anger, you will end up in a stress. So by identifying that the way of the way that you work and everything, and you can prevent as well as you can manage your stress. Some bosses are very pushy bosses. How do you work? Understand their profile, understand your profile. All right. So how do you match it up together? So you know that how you can overcome the stress as well as to prevent your stress. All right. So far, any questions into the a simple understanding of starting with the understanding of the profile, profiling tools, and now we are going into what the big why, and also that the benefit. So any questions at the moment? You can unmute and say it, or you can just type it in the chat box. All
No
right.
questions, no questions.
Okay, great, Raymond. Thanks. Okay, so I can see some no question, very clear so far. All right, let's continue. Now, the next thing is that I want you take up your phone, scan this particular QR code. All right. Or Emily will be putting in the link in the chat box. You can click in the chat box and then take this 16 personality MBTI test. It's going to take about 5 minutes. I have done it. This profile is take about 3.5 minutes. Okay, so I'm giving you 5 minutes. Once you're done, you click or you can say done, and you can type in the chat box you are done, and then from there we move on. Okay, so your 5 minutes start now. Okay, I see someone have joined. Please scan this particular profiling tool and take it. I give about 5 minutes to complete the profiling. Once you're done, you can tell in a chat box you are done, and then we move on from there. Don't analyze the question too much. Read, and then which one that's suitable. Either you disagree or agree. I hope that you're all halfway already there. Okay, whoever that didn't scan yet, please do the profiling. Once you're done, you can type in the chat box you are done. Thanks, Nurul. Oh, I see that there is the changes in your profiling. That's good. Let's see. Do write it down that previous profiling the 4 alphabet, right? Then we can do the changes. See that what have been done. Right? I can see 2 of them done. Another 2 minutes. Go. Take your time. Don't rush. Once you're done, then you write it down in the chat box. You're done.
We need to write our result in the chat ke, Selva?
If you feel comfortable, you can type.
Okay.
I can challenge you lah. It's a good thing that you can share.
Can lah. Can. But actually only one tukar, right? Because it's okay lah. I need to ask you what does it mean. There's only one alphabet that's different.
Yeah.
Actually tak lah bertukar, sama je. Kira-kira.
Nanti nanti kita akan tengok how does it work. I mean, what are the things that is represented.
Okay. I need to open the room for Suryati soon, but I'll check out with you.
Okay, all right. Okay. I hope that everyone done. Not yet? Okay, MH is talking. He's a consult. ESFG. Okay, good. Results are coming in. Happy ENFJ. Okay, great. Okay. Emily also same as happy. Okay, the results are coming in. Okay, whoever that is not done yet. Okay, now man, continue, finish it. I give you another 1 minute to finish. It's quite fast. Or anyone want to share your opinion on the question? Is it too long, too short? Easy to understand. Okay, because they're using because this profile they have refined again and again and again, and they try to use a simple English so that it can be utilized worldwide. So this is where that they refine. I think the last published questions is about 2016, if I'm not mistaken, right? The first handwritten questionnaires published in 1926, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, 1926. John Holland, Carl Jung published it in 1921. So it's about 5 years after that they have done. Okay, Kazu, thanks. ENFJ, quite number of ENFJ here. Raymond also ENFJ. Thanks, Raymond. Is it a trainer's personality? That one I cannot define. Either you are trainers or not, right? Trainers they have different ways. So if you're looking at your training section or the training specialty, if you're technical, it might be different. If you are from the soft skill, you'll be different. You're talking more on the webinar side, that will be different. But then we look into how do we leverage on it. Raymond got another one, ENFJT. The previous one was ENFJA. Okay, later we will discuss what is the difference between A and J. A and T. All right. Okay, let's move. Whoever that didn't finish, it's okay. Finish it as soon as possible, and then put it the result in the chat box. All right. Now, let's look at the profiling tools. Okay, so this profiling tool, MBTI profiling, or sometimes they call it as a preference profile. Now, this particular preference profile will give you or provide you the answer that why some people, some things are easy for others. Okay, sometimes that why you have difficulties in facing a few things. Okay, so profile also helps us to understand the most efficient way in which to communicate and how people work best in a different situations. Okay, so another word is that don't try to look into why it doesn't work for me, but then look into how do I fit in. Mean that try to leverage on your strength, acknowledge and improve your weaknesses. Right. So in this particular profile, what I can say, I can conclude is that MBTI profile or preference profile will tell you who am I. Okay, so at least it will give you a basic understanding who am I before try to understand that your current point A. All right, and then you do your planning for point B, and then you see the gap and how do you move. What are the resources that you have? What are the strengths that you have? How do you leverage on your strength? And how do you acknowledge your weaknesses and improve your weaknesses? So this is give you a foundations who you are actually, right? So this particular profile, as you can see, there is a 4 quadrant. Okay, so the first quadrant is here, extrovert, introvert. Second quadrant is sensing and intuitive. Third quadrant is thinking and a feeling. And the fourth quadrant is about judging and perceiving. Let's go detail into these 4 quadrants. Now, the first quadrant, we're talking about energy. How do you get the energy? Actual, I mean, from outwardly energy or inward energy. Okay, extrovert collect the energy from external. Okay, extrovert will collect the energy. For example, like presenters, seminar or conference speakers, public speakers, or sales and marketing. So these people are collect energy by talking to people. Things are happening to them. It's more on outward or external related, right? Now, when you're talking about internal introverts, it's more on inward, on own thought, on they are based on their experiences. All right. So these people are tends to be more quiet compared with extrovert. Now, if you say introvert, not really 100% introvert. Even the extrovert, they are not 100% extrovert. All right. Now, depending on the situations, sometimes extrovert, they can be very talkative, but when they go into new environment, they convert themselves to be introvert. Observe first what are the opportunities that they have before they make a move. Now, introvert, the same thing. They are most of the time they are quiet. They always think 1 or 2 steps ahead. If I answer this, what will be my next option? If I answer A, what will be my next option? So always have 2 or 3 steps thinking ahead. So that's where that introvert is always, they always say that these are the quiet people. Actually, they're not quiet. They are very thinking in advance, 1 or 2 steps in advance. Now, even some of the introverts that I have met, at the beginning, they are introvert. Once they get to know you, or once you get to know them, they feel more comfortable. They can convert themselves into the extrovert. Okay, so they are looking at their comfort zone. Okay, and it's not easy for them to establish comfort zone. It takes time, but once it takes time, they will be an extrovert in that particular group. Okay, so sometimes that you can really meet some of the people that people always say that your friend A is very, very quiet type. And then you will be looking at your friend A and say that this is a quiet type, this is more talkative type. All right. So when that's why I say that the introvert is not 100% introvert, but then you have to give time for them to respond to your questions. Okay, so a lot of these happen in your with the subordinate. Some of the subordinate that when you ask a question, they won't reply. Sometimes in a meeting they are very quiet. Actually, that they're not quiet. They are very thinking 1 or 2 steps ahead. If I answer A, what will happen? If I answer B, what will happen? So they are thinking on that. So you have to give them a time. Whereas an extrovert, You tell them, you ask them a question, straight away they will give you. These are the people that they never filter their thoughts. Okay, so there is a good and bad things, advantage and disadvantage. So, but then the more important thing is that how do you collect your energy? Some people keeping quiet, they collect more energy. Some people talking a lot, they collect energy. For me, I'm an extrovert. I can talk about 2 hours, 3 hours, non-stop. That's where my energy comes in. Okay, so more on people, more on things happening, more on outward kind of things. So first quadrant is more on the energy. Second quadrant is talking about how do you prefer to take information. Okay, sensing, for example, that I will tell you that sensing is, let's say that you collect, our body collect energy using a 5 senses, right? So the same thing that when you collect energy from outer world, you always see into details, detail oriented. Okay, if it's a person related to quality, they are detail oriented, so they are high in sensing what need to be done, so they will have step by step. And sensing people also will be practical and also realistic. Okay, because as what I'm saying, that they can collect information using their 5 senses, so they have all, they look very into detail. Whereas intuitive is seeing the context, seeing the bigger picture, seeing in a helicopter view. These people will analyze why these are happening, why, when you give a chart to them, they will love the charts. Okay, they try to analyze the chart, and they also look into the future opportunities. So as being in industry, these people can be strategists. Okay, they can plan, they can see the bigger picture, they can see the future opportunities. Okay, if I do this, these are the things will come. For example, how Nazrin started this VLC is he sees that future opportunities, right? Taking offline education into online education. So these are the people that who look into a bigger picture. They analyze things that what else I can do in a COVID time. So these are the things that comes in. So that's where that I believe that VLC started because of that, right? So this is taking the information. Third quadrant is more on the how do you make a decision, by thinking or by feeling. So this is more on the by thinking or by feeling, by the brain or by the heart, or logic and feelings. Okay, logic and emotions. All right. So thinking is more on logical based, yes or no, 1 and 0, binary code, law. They follow law. If a high thinking police officer, okay, if it's a police officer, they must have high thinking level, so they follow. You break the rule, they give you the summon. Okay, if the police officer is more on feeling, okay, they will just give you warning. They said that don't repeat this mistake again. Okay, this offense again, otherwise I will give you the summon. So feeling is more talking from your heart, talking about value, talking about people. Okay, it's more on people related. If seeing details, sensing, as well as a feeling is high, you will be more working towards the people's area. Okay, frontliners, okay, teachers, counselors, nurses. So these are the area of you can work. Okay, so making judgment, thinking, and the feeling. Right, either is by logic, by brain, or by heart. Right. The fourth quadrant is a lifestyle. You make a judging or perceiving. So how do you organize your external or the outer life? Okay. Now judging is more on the order and structure. Okay. So this is people, we say it is conventional type, but they are very good planner, and they are very good with deadlines as well as a goal. Okay. So these are the people that very follow the rules and follow the order. If you are very high in thinking as well as a judging, you will be like straightforward. You will not have any flexibilities. All right. Now, perceiving is more flexible, freedom, and on the move kind of a things, and they are more detailed on the processes. They can alter the processes. They can be very flexible in terms of running the process. If the process is too taxing, they can be flexible, they can shorten the processes. But then when you go to the judging person, they will say that no, you follow A, B, C, and D. But perceiving will think that if you can omit C, they will go A, B, and D. So these are the more different on the life side. Okay, for example, like when you're submitting an assignment, and we can think about when in the back in the universities, when we submit assignment, some lecturers have said on the dot 2 o'clock the assignment submission closed, and if it's a 2:01, they will never ever accept that. So they are judging. If the lecturers will say, okay, never mind, just a 5 minute, I can still can accept your assignments. So they are more perceiving. So they're more on flexibilities. They're more on the freedom type. Okay, so this is how that comes up with. Now, you can really see that by taking this profiling, you will end up with 16 combination of personality. Right? So they started with E, which is E and I is introvert and extrovert. Second alphabet is sensing or intuitive. S and N. The third alphabet will be F and T, feeling and thinking. The last alphabet P or J, perceiving or judging. Right? So you have a 16 combinations. So you can fall in any other, any one of it. Okay. Now, looking into your 4 different characters, okay, 4 different characters. How do you identify? The first character is on the energy. Introvert, extrovert, how do you collect energy? The last characters, P and J, is more on a lifetime. Either you're perceiving or you're judging based. All right. Now, the 2 in the middle is more on the strength, where whatever appears. If you're N and T, you are looking into bigger context and you are very straightforward, follow the rules. Or if it's a S and F, a sensing and a feeling. So it's more on the human, looking into detail, as well as a human related or people's value. Okay, whichever character is not exist in your profile. Okay, so the upper portion that you really can see, S and F is not exist. That means your weakness is on S as well as your F. Okay, hope everyone can follow. Yeah, can you follow? Yes. So you know where is your energy, where is your strength, as well as where your weakness are. Okay, people are looking into detail, cannot see the overview of the reason that why they're doing the work. Okay, people are following their brain, the thinking, logic. Very hard, very difficult, very few that can relate with their feelings. So that's where the strength comes in, as well as the weakness. So this is where that you identify, right? Now all these profile, the 16 combination, they can work in any in the industry. Okay, ISTJ we call as the realist, and ISFP is more on the artist. ESTP the doers. ESFP is the performers. So they are these are the few examples of the career that you can work on it. Okay, so if you are in the same industry, yes, you are in the right position, you are on the right track. But always remember, all 16 type of profile or the combination can be successful in any profession, depending how you fit in into that situation, how you overcome your weakness, and how do you leverage on your strength. Right now, what I want you to do, using an anecdote in your, you can see that on the top of the viewpoint, there is an anecdote. Okay, use a stamp. You can select love, or you can select your star. You can stick it on any of the boxes, the colored boxes here. Don't worry, the color doesn't represent anything here. So which group that you are, I want to see. All right, Emmeline is there, Happy is there, MH. Okay, who else? Raymond is there. Raymond, draw something. Okay. All right.
Yeah, sorry, because I using handphone, so there will be no stamping over there.
No, no worry, no worry. As long as you mark something in the right box, not out of the box. Okay, Fina is then the first. All right. Now let's look at the detail. What exactly these boxes are representing. Okay. So the first box that you really can see, the first box is chart your cost. So INFJ, ISTJ, INTJ, ISTJ, and also ISTP. They are more on the chart the cost. Okay. The second group, get things going. The third group is keep calm, I'm in charge. So the people are taking lead, yeah. And then the last but not least is behind the scene. So these are the people that work in a 4 different angle. All right. Now let's go deeper. What exactly that chart the where is my and how do I clear it? Okay. Anyway. Can see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. So the first chart the cost. Usually they are talented in planning and determine the feasibilities of the cost of action. Okay, they are you more on the analytical and conceptual. So they are the drawing part. Okay, so they will always look into outline the good strategies. So chart the cost is more on the strategic side. Okay, the second part is get things going. So these are the natural motivators. These are the leaders, the potential leaders. They always open up to the new ideas and the possibilities. They look at the how do you innovate your work environment. So these are the more people oriented because they keep the motivation in a team going. Okay, so these are the people that get things going. All right. And the third group is the keep calm, I'm in charge. These are the goal oriented, very direct, very efficient. And these are the result and also efficiencies. Okay, these are the energetic action people. So they get things done. They can make a decision very fast. Okay, and they can mobilize the resources. They can see that if the resources they needed, and they can mentor people and also the monitor projects. So they are good project management people. Right. Last but not least is about behind the scene. So these are people that they don't go for how to say for the name, but then they are more into the getting things done. Okay, they do a lot of research, they do a lot of counseling, they do prefer to work behind the scene. They don't like to be in a spotlight. Okay, so these are the 4 different categories. Yeah, so chart the cost, get things going, keep calm, I'm in charge, and last but not least is behind the scene. Now this is further when you're taking it up further into the analysis of the teamwork and everything. So you really can see what role that you really can play. For example, yeah, ISTJ, they can be inspector. Inspector means is they are looking into details. Remember, when I say sensing is looking into detail, these are the inspectors. For people in a quality assurance, people in finance, you need to have high in sensing. Okay, the same thing, ISTJ, if you convert it into ESTJ over here, all right, you can see, yeah. If you convert from introvert to extrovert, they become a director, so they can lead the team. All right. So this is how that you develop your teammate. Let's say there is a potential candidate in your team that you see they have potential to lead, but they're always quiet. Initiate them, change them from introvert to extrovert. Okay, so when you develop them from moving them from introvert to an extrovert, you can change them into become a director. Okay, so they have a visionaries as well as they have a renewer, they have a scientist. So these are the people who are I. But this is more detail that need more additional for me to work with the team so that I can define who is the best fit in what kind of role in this particular team. All right. So this is just a surface, just for your information. But then if you need more information, do contact me. I can give you more detail on that. Now, when you're looking at as for the what do you really seek out of your profiling tool? Okay. So just now that we have more on, we can say that high in ENFJ, ENFJ. Where is it? ENFJ, ENFJ. Right? Where is it? Okay. Okay, ENFJ, that you really can see these people are more on harmony. So they keep everyone in a good mood. This is what you seek actually. All right. So the profile has tell you that what you're really seeking. Okay, what kind of things? For example, ISTJ, they're looking for structure. ESTJ, they look for a control. ESFJ, they're looking for closure. So these are the area what you are seeking. Okay, and another part that the research is done, that what you like to hear, okay, from people that you know, that your teammates. Okay, for example, like ENFJ, ENFJ, ENFJ. Where is it? ENFJ. I always miss it. Okay, I'm with you. Okay, so ENFJ is always been supportive. So you need to tell them or say, don't worry, everything will be good. I will be always with you. Okay, you give them a support or comfort zone. So by knowing this, you will know your teammate what they are seeking, as well as what they like to hear most of the time, to make them build their confidence level, as well as make them feel comfortable being in the team. Okay, and further analysis or further research also been done, that is went up to how do you keep your brain actually. So they have a lot of research been done on the MBTI, how exactly that been things have been done. So for the ENFJ, this is how that you keep your brain. Okay, but I believe that it cannot, it won't be that accurate, but then some form of clip that you will be putting in. All right. Okay, happy say it's me. Okay, so that's how we do it. So I am more on the ESTP or EF here. This is how I keep. Okay, and until now that without I'm realizing it, this is how I do. I twist and tuck under the bed and keep it on the top. Okay, so this research also been carried out. Okay, now further, just to make a fun understanding on the profiling, these also that have Star Wars profiling tools that are available. Take a look. They have a definitions and really can see. Okay, it's work quite well. Okay, so Raymond is saying that waste money to buy a clip. Okay, but then depending on how you are doing it. Okay, now the last but not least, that we are looking into the incompatibility personality. Okay, you have to be careful. There's a potential of the misunderstanding, potential of challenges that you will be facing. ESTJ, ENFJ, you have to be very careful with INFP. Okay, this is the same role, but then opposite. I mean, different personality. So you really can see the center, your strength are the same. So they are from the same functions. Okay, but then opposite personality. So you have a P and a J. Okay, so that's where the difference comes in. All right, some can be very judgmental, some can be flexible. So when you're working, sometimes you can be very judgmental, and your colleague can be very flexibility. So the flexible one, most of the time will win the heart of the customer. Okay, so you have to be very careful on that. And a dynamic opposite, that you really can see that your strength as well as the opposite your colleague strength. So that is the dynamic opposite side. Okay, so you can see that ENFJ, your opposite will be ESFJ. Okay, so this will be your dynamic opposite. Okay, because this is understanding the dynamic opposite so that you can leverage on them. Okay, so key takeaway is to have a better understanding on your profile report, understanding on the leverage on the strength and as well as the weakness, understand the team role. If you really need someone that to have go and get a mentor or get a coach, don't be afraid to do the testing, to do the personality test, and do share. If you have a team, do share the profile or ask your team members to take up the profile, have a sitting, have share what they are looking into it. Okay. Now, any Q&A? I will go for Q&A. I still have another 1 more minute to go.
Mr. Selva, the behind the A and the T difference.
Yes. One is a turbulent, one is assertive. Assertive means that you really can be, you stand on your feet. Okay, so you never give up. A is A for you. Turbulent sometimes can be A, yeah la, maybe A la. So you will feel that you are not really confirmed, but you need more information, more data for you to convert from turbulent to the assertive. So that is a different. But then in a profiling world, what we'll do that we only read the 4 alphabet, the A and the T, depending on the situation that you are in. Okay. Sometimes the profiling also affect the situation where you have to take the profile test itself. Now, for today, that when we are doing it, I believe that everyone in a pressure mode, you have to complete within a 5 minutes and then move on, right? So this pressure mode can also change, can also alter your profiling alphabets, right? Hope that clear, Raymond?
Yeah, clear. Very good. Thanks.
All right. Any other questions? We have another 1 more slide to go. That will be a quiz. If no question, then we go to the quiz. Is that okay? You want a quiz? Yes? No?
How many questions was there actually just now?
Sorry?
How many questions was there in the
Quiz is only 5 questions. Very simple.
No, in the profiling just now. How many questions do you have?
Roughly about 48 questions, 48 to 50 questions.
Because I once do it and it was about 74.
Oh,
so
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Maybe that they have changed previously, that when I was doing it almost 6 months ago, there was about 40 something. So maybe that they have increased it to another 20 questions.
Thank you.
Welcome. All right. So if there is no questions, I will go for a quiz, quick quiz. Please scan the QR code. Okay. Emmeline also had shared the quiz URL in the chat box. All right. Quick quiz. All right. You can do it in 1 minute. Then we are done. Okay. Once you're done, you can just type done. Okay. 1% done. Okay. So if there is no other, I'm looking into any other questions. If you have any question that you can contact me. You can email me or you can call me. We can discuss further on if you're profiling, if you're interested in profiling. All right. Last question before we go off. Okay. Any last questions? Yes, no? Okay, so I take it there's no question. Thank you very much for joining me for this short 1 hour session on the self-discovery. Hope you have learned something. And if you have any question, always can contact me, as well as we keep in touch. All right. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank
Bye, everyone.
you.
Thanks.